Expecting a comfortable into the week for our Friday afternoon. Temperatures at least jumping 10 or more degrees here for our southern counties today compared to our Thursday highs. That'll get some of us even close to those 50s, but overall still much more comfortable here than we've had for some of those chillier conditions in recent days. You'll see again that gets us to just shy of that 50 mark for most of mid-Missouri today, and we'll want to enjoy this as these will likely be the warmest temperatures we'll have for the rest of our weekend here. You'll see we don't really lose too much of that heat overnight. Temperatures at least manage to hold to those upper 30s for most of the area here. Seeing that dip below those 30s here into our northern counties, though. It's as I'm tracking southerly winds moving in, and also cloud cover filling in overnight will help insulate most of us, but again in areas that don't see as much of those clouds and also where you're just further north is where you'll have less of those warmer conditions here. We'll also be tracking that cloud cover increasing along with some low pressure moving in. That's what will lead to a chance for some light precip for the early parts of the weekend. Overall, I'm not expecting this to be a particularly hefty system. Really will face just very light precip, but that could become fairly mixed at times with our temperatures. Again, in some areas a bit colder than others. You'll see that for the first half of the weekend, we're likely still making it back to the 40s in the afternoon. It's possible with temperatures again in those 30s. The further north we get, that will be tracking possible mixed precip here, and overall still seeing a nice wrap up to the weekend for Sunday. We'll likely end up losing some of those clouds. That will keep temperatures just pretty seasonal in those 40s here, and still we'll be tracking also fairly appropriate for the season, possibly some wintry mix here, and that should just amount to a dusting north of I-70 at most. Really not tracking very meaningful precip or accumulations with this. We'll just see some of that lighter, colder rain even for most of our counties, particularly the further south you get. You'll see that clouds do return by the evening hours for Friday, and then there's that light precip for our early Saturday. This is likely even before sunrise into the weekend. Not really seeing that affect many here, and we'll even lose most of that precip likely for the early start to the weekend. As we get through the rest of Saturday there, you see a bit of a resurgence in precip, still on that lighter end, and we'll see that possibly becoming a more mixed here into that wintry mix to more snow for our northern counties into early Sunday. This is by late Saturday night here into about midnight there for Sunday, but overall we'll not deal with too much of that precip for the second half of the week, and we'll already notice by about sunrise there into Sunday clouds pulling out and helping temperatures recover nicely there for the end of the weekend. And this is still expected to be a fairly minor system impacting the area. We're expecting less than a quarter of an inch of overall accumulations, and even just less than that expected for snowfall amounts there, just possibly a dusting for our northern counties. You'll see that that does keep fairly seasonal conditions in place for Sunday. We're just topping out right around those low 40s. We do see a nice jump in temperatures for early next week with more dry conditions settling in, but already seeing our next system on the horizon, possibly bringing us back to those 40s here by late next week.